Let's take a look at the 7'4", 18-year-old out of France, projected number 1 overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft, Victor Wembanyama. I do want to make a quick note that any stats I use for this are based off 29 games he played this past season in EuroLeague or France LNB Pro A, 2 of the top leagues in Europe. So we're going to start with the three-point shooting. You see him in transition. Now there is a very low dip with Wembanyama, but you can see his ability to catch and knock down shots there as the trail guy in transition. And then I love this play as he flares to the corner. So they actually run this action for him on this play. So they're driving to baseline. They're going to set this weak side screen so you can see the kind of confidence he has. Catch and shoot actually was his most used play type this past season. 25% of his shot attempts came from that. And then he's able to do it off the bounce as well. So you see, give a little shot fake, step back, and just with that length. He was just a 28% three-point shooter, but at his age, at his size, you can see the foundation for what can be a very effective play type for Wembanyama. And then as we progress, how about his ability to put the ball on the ground? So this first one he's going to catch, he's going to drive it. You see a nice low crossover, but he does have some tightening to do with the handle. We're going to see it again here as he catch. I would like to see him attack this a little bit more aggressively. I'll talk about that on the next clip just a little bit more. But you see as he backs it out, the defender's able to get up under him, pressure him a little bit, and he loses the handle. So that's one thing. At his size, yes, it's a great advantage in a lot of situations, but as much as he plays on the perimeter, he's going to have to be super tight with that handle to not let defenders, especially smaller defenders, get up in him, bother him, and force him into turnover. So we're going to see one more catch and drive. One thing I would like to see Wembanyama do this next season is really attack these closeouts going to the rim. Now, the spacing isn't great on this one, but there's a lot of clips where I think he could really attack in a straight line, and that's where some of the lower body strength that he will add throughout his career will come into play. But I wanted to use this clip because the skill level is just insane, guys. So as we go back to the beginning, shot fake, drive, between the legs, spin, fade away, knocks that shot down. I will say post-ups was about 8.5% of his play types used, and 50% of them were jumpers. I know that wasn't a true post-up, but in general, when he catches the ball in the post, it's going to be a fadeaway jumper over his right or left shoulder. Playing in the pick and roll as a roll man is actually something I thought I would see more from Wembanyama. Less than 5% of his play types were in these type of plays, but you can see just with his size, his fluidity, his ability to move, it's something you're going to be able to do with him, throw the ball up to the rim and let him finish in a variety of situations, whether it's the dunker spot, offensive rebounds, all of those things. And then because of that athleticism, he's obviously going to be dangerous in transition, just running the floor. This was his second most used play type, and he is a guy you can give it up to, and he's going to have the ability to put the ball on the ground. Now, he finished around the rim at 59%, but he was only 39% whenever it was a layup in all of those play types. So just kind of that finesse in finishing as layups, not just dunks, is something that he can look to improve on this next season. And then looking at his playmaking, I really like the upside for him as a passer. Just at his size, it's going to open up passing angles, and this is a great pass. Look at the arm angle that he throws this into the post and then leads his big right to the rim, ability to keep the ball high so the little guard can't come in and get his hands on it. So really nice pass there from Wembanyama. Now, he did have some where he has to just make a better decision. Doesn't see the weak side defender here. He had some where he tried to look that guy off and they didn't go for it. So again, this is something that's going to be developing, just a nice foundation for his offensive game and just all the different things he can add value-wise on that end of the floor. And then defensively, obviously, he can absolutely be a disruptor. So just his length here on the ball, you have to make perfect passes and perfect decisions, or he's going to get his hands on it and force a turnover. Here, just helping in the lane on the weak side, again, just able to get his hands up and be active and force turnovers, get his team in transition. And then I think he's a guy that's going to be able to be switchable. As he continues to grow, get a little bit stronger, because of his length, he can play off of guys, but I also think he does a good job just moving his feet and staying with them. You see him erase that one at the rim. Here we're going to get a ball screen and switch. He's going to be able to sit down, and because of his length, he doesn't have to get way up. So if you want to go for a jump shot, he's going to be able to contest and get some blocks in that way as well. So I think long term, he's going to be able to give you some different options in ball screen coverages. Here we're going to see him a little bit more drop. So he's going to be able to change direction here, put his foot in the ground, and then again use his length to contest that mid-range pull-up from the roll man. One thing I do think he has to get better at. So I do want to say, I know these kids are young that we're scouting for the 2023 NBA draft. So these aren't overall critiques, just areas I would like to see them improve as they go into a whole nother season of play, even before the draft. But for Wembanyama, it's going to be recovering to the roll man when they roll hard all the way to the basket. Right there, you see he's not all the way able to get back in front, ends up getting called for a foul. He gave up a couple lobs over the top. It makes it hard because of his length to get the pass there, but when it does, he's going to have to be a little bit better turning and getting back in front of the roll man. And then just playing with a little more physicality. You see him just get pushed underneath the rim here by the offensive player, gives up the offensive board. Now, of course, he's able to stay with it and get a block. So I would like to see him, as he gets stronger and grows and matures, play with a little bit more physicality. And that leads me to, I know a lot of people are going to compare him to Chet. I will say, based off Chet's freshman year at Gonzaga to Victor Wembanyama's last season playing overseas, Chet probably was a little more willing to play physical defensively. I would say Victor is a longer and more fluid and overall better athlete. There's some similarities offensively in terms of there probably weren't in the situation where they were really featured as much as maybe you would want. And then I think Chet's shot was probably more true so far, but I think Victor has an all-around higher upside on the offensive and defensive end of the floor.